Hey everyone, I'm Jack. I'm new to BookTube. I thought I'd give it a try because I just moved, and this is my third take for this video, and I think after this I'm just gonna upload it. Previous ones were too long, or my chair was squeaking, or whatever, but anyways, today I'm gonna talk about my top 5 favorite NYRB books, classics. They print like what I would consider minor classics or just kind of underlooked books. Plus 2 honorable mentions. And just to preface, I might not have too much intelligent to say, but my goal here is to get you guys to read these books because I really liked them, and they just left an impression on me or whatever. So, number 1, Names on the Land by George R. Stewart. He also wrote Earth Abides and a couple other books. He wrote pretty widely. I haven't read any except for this, but I love this. As you can tell there, it's about a history of place naming in the United States. And it's pretty scholarly, I'd say, but not like scholarly done right. It's very readable. He's very entertaining. He's passionate about it. You'd think it would be boring, but he makes it very entertaining, and it's still intelligent though. It's good. I would like to read a passage from it. Let's see. And if I keep looking down and looking at notes, here he's talking about English critiques of the names of colonies, basically, and in this case it's Jamestown. Here is George R. Stewart talking. So the cat was out, and it appears that Dudley Carleton had no better standard than that all names should be as much as possible like English names. Did he wish, Virginians, to shackle your minds so that your names should only be stale and second-hand? If Jamestown was to be Chelmsford, should the broad Potomac flow gently to the name of Thames, and Point Comfort colorlessly echo Dungeness, and Chesapeake be the wash? The date of this letter was August 18th, 1607, about 3 months after the founding of Jamestown. Thus early, the more insular of the English began to carp, and such judgments were to be frequent in later centuries. But this book will pay them no more attention, because they all followed the stupid pattern set by Master Dudley Carleton. They assumed that the traditional names and ways of naming of the little island were the only proper ones. They made no allowance for different landscapes and racial strains, or for new ideals and an ever-flourishing imagination. They argued much, however, for good taste and for linguistic purity, as was natural for the inhabitants of a country blessed with Maidenhead, Fryup, Scissor, Great Snoring, Shitlington, and Ashby de la Zouche. So he just writes with passion throughout, and it's great. He's also pretty sensitive to Native Americans' contributions to naming in the United States. And also the kind of bastardized names that we took from the Native Americans and like changed and Anglified or whatever. But I think this would make an excellent reference too for like if you're a writer or whatever. Anyways, we're not making good time. Chess Story, Stefan Zweig. This one is short. This is the final thing Stefan Zweig wrote before he and his wife killed themselves in exile from the Nazis. And just to preface, especially these next 2 books, my historic, I'm not an authority on history in general, but I do plan on changing that someday. A Chess Story is about a wealthier guy who, in Austria, who gets basically imprisoned by the Nazis in a hotel, and he isn't allowed reading material or anything like that. And so he steals a chess manual, and he reads it with such, single-mindedness. I think it's called monomania. It's all that it consumes his life. What people my age would call hyperfixation. Anyways, he's hyperfixated on chess, and he starts losing his mind with chess and starts dreaming chess, starts playing, imagining games. by himself, and yeah, very good. It's a good like character study in monomania. I recommend it highly. None of these are in any order except for the last one. Chevengur. This is really good. This is poetic. It's sad. It's moving. I think there's some funnier moments in this, but I mean, it has that dark undercurrent that so many of the Russian classics have, and it's like a universe in its own. I mean, it's very. I wouldn't necessarily say inviting, but you inhabit it. It's a good book, and there's some set pieces that stuck with me. Highly recommend it. It's a bit longer. The Landbreakers by John Ely, historical fiction done to, in my opinion, near perfection. This is the first book of a series. I've read the second book. This is the only one New York Review of Books has, but it's about a settler. He was an indentured servant from, I think, Scotland, and he settles on some cheap land in North Carolina, in like Appalachia, sorry. And I think Ely just captures the area very well, and like the feeling of a new town or village or settlement. If you've played a colony simulator, you will get a similar feeling, I think, reading this. Like as new characters come in and contribute in their own way to the new town. Excuse me. And I've almost forgot, there's one scene in this that I think makes it worth reading alone. And it will haunt you, and it involves snakes. But it's a good adventure story, some action scenes. Finally, number one, A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr. This is a very good book. I highly recommend it. I would say written maybe to near perfection in my limited opinion. At its core, it's about a World War I veteran who restores churches in like rural England. And that's not it though. There's kind of a side plot. I guess it's a side plot, but really it's steals the show in my opinion. And it's like a love story. And it's kind of about like lost love. It's sad, it's emotional, it's funny. I'm using the same adjectives for everything here anyways. I love it. Very good. There was something else I was going to say about this. I think I read this in the intro. I might be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure he took inspiration from Thomas Hardy's Under the Greenwood Tree. And I could see why, because I've read both, and it's very similar. It's kind of like a country story of the country and characters, some funny characters. It's a bit of a love story. Yeah, it's really good. And then, okay, these are the honorable mentions. This one, Butcher's Crossing. I read Stoner. This one's better, sorry. It's like a Western. It transcends the genre, but I wouldn't say I like really liked this book, but I liked it a good bit, and it's one a lot of people like. But I'm including it here because it's one that has kind of stuck with me. Just it's made an impression on me. It's a very violent book. Like if you are not into Westerns, or like if you really just can't stomach mass killing of like buffalo, that's what this whole book's about. It's about a hunting party that gets stranded in like rural Colorado, and the characters in this are terrible. Not terribly written. I think they're written good because you're not supposed to like them, but I can't imagine being snowed in with these guys. The boredom would be terrible, and they're just terrible people, like bloodthirsty people, greedy. They care about nothing except making money. And then the main character, he's pretty naive, but this story is about like a kind of a loss of naivete. And then this one very nearly made the list, but I limited myself to 5 because it's a neat number. But this is Lives of the Saints by Nancy Lehman, or Lemon. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This is about New Orleans, and it's kind of there's not much of a plot here, and it's also quite short. This is great. I mean, I read it, I think it was the New York Review of Books May selection for their book club, which I'm a part of. And I just loved it. I mean, I was able to read it very easily. It's kind of a story of like forbidden love. It's real meandering and slow, and it's mainly, if you're into like characters and like not so much of a plot and some amusing things happening to these characters, I think you'll like it. And it's very like episodic, and hold on, I want to see if I could. These are like this is like the chapter length, just to illustrate it for you guys. And there's no real chapters in this, it's just like short stuff like that. And it reminds me a lot of A Confederate General from Big Sur by Richard Brautigan, which is also a good book. You should read, I think. It's very like lighthearted, but this one packs, I feel like, a bit more of a punch than that one. I like this more than A Confederate General from Big Sur. But it's similar in that it's kind of episodic. It's kind of about an area like Big Sur, and this one's about New Orleans. And the characters there's like funny things, and it's more about characters than it is about plot. So for those reasons, if you like those things, then I think you would really like this book. Yeah. That's everything. Ran a tad bit longer than I wished, but yeah, I mean, I might keep trying to do these if I generate some more ideas. I don't always have the most interesting things to say about books, but my hope here was to show you some books I like, some New York Review books I like, and hopefully convince you guys to read some of them. I would like to hear any suggestions or your favorite NYRB books. Yeah. Thank you.